Hi, welcome. On this video, you're going to see me continue to do the stand to assist response with Tiny. Now, you're going to start to see it really start to take shape, start to become more solid. And so in terms of more solid, you're going to start to see Tiny come directly up, okay, from the sit position in response so that I can start to put pressure on her without much forward movement, okay. So here, something I'm really starting to focus in on more and more in terms of getting her to respond that way and take more and more weight, a little bit more pressure. And so you'll see me doing this both with, kind of moving around, engaging in that response, as well as from a seated position. So the goal here again is what you're going to see is more of a coming straight up and not initiating forward momentum to create. That's what you want. At first you have to do that. You have to get some forward momentum going, because the tendency with Tiny is that, prior to, is that she's just kind of used to automatically going into a sit position all the time. So here it's a little different because I don't want that. Okay, when I give that command, I want her to be able to respond differently. So you're going to see me doing that. I'm starting to focus in a little more, but encourage you to really pay attention to how this is coming together better. It's really starting to shape. Okay. And she's starting to get, this is where, again, I give her a little bit of praise at times to incentivize her. Okay, this is where, applying a motivator, motivating a dog in terms of reward, has different meaning, okay, because we're going through the right sequencing here. So, therefore, I started to tap into that a little bit to help to create a little better response, okay. But first, you want to kind of really be aware, you don't want to kind of go in that direction too soon. But here everything's working out great. So again, let's start to move her forward here a little bit. Now, still working on just a basic method, okay? Here's I'm doing it. Still the default sit. You see me working that. So default sit, I'm moving along here, just slow down, giving her some information. I want her to stop. That's how I'm tapping that leash, okay? Move forward. So right here, I'm going to give the command, Tiny, stand. So you see her come right up, tap just a little bit here. I want to steady her. I don't want her moving forward. Good girl. See? And then initiate the sit. So right there, that was great. I'll move forward again. I want her to pretty much pop straight up, which she's doing. See it at a different angle here. I'm going to bring her around. I want her to go into the sit first. Tiny, stand. And then straight up. I start to put more weight on her. I'm leaning on her pretty hard here. And then give the command to go back into the sit position. Tap a little bit. Doing really good. So what I want, I'm going to move forward again. I do this a few times. This is a lot, just repetition, doing the same thing over and over again. Tiny, stand. Leaning in, leaning on her. You see, as she gets that idea of not moving forward, I don't have to tap on the leash as much here. I just want it just to be solid like it is. She's trying to go into, just like this, she's trying to go into a different response, and then I will move her forward. She tries to go into that, and move her forward out of that. I want her to realize she's going the same thing with the stretching. She wants to do that a little bit. So there you see her one, because I'm going a little bit further with it, I'm extending it. There's times that she wants to go into a sit position, but don't want her to, okay? The whole goal here is to extend it out a little bit more. So do it again here. Tiny, stand. moving forward here a little bit, using her for support. So the whole idea is for her to pace me. I'm paying attention to her rear quarters here. I don't want her to go into a different response. I want her to stay solid here. So tap the leash to slow her down, pace, have her pace me. Tries to do that, pulling her out of that. So we're going to take a couple little laps around here. Let's see how far we can go with this. Even adjusting my hand a little bit. Just got to get used to a little bit of adjustment. See? My hand shifts on her body. Don't want it to throw her off, you know, because that's going to happen. She tries to do a different response. I just move right up because I want her to understand. And no, I haven't given a different command yet. This is to stay on course here with this one thing. So this is the idea. Until I tell her differently, I want her to focus on this one thing. She's doing really good. Sit. Girl. That was really good. So you saw how I'm kind of working at it. So you see there's times that, because again, expectations increase. And that'll throw her off a little bit because then she wants to respond different. If that happens, that's when I have to engage. I've got to move her out of that. But I have to be keeping an eye on what's going on at all times. So when I'm doing this, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to take a couple laps around here again. Because again, there's a lot of repetition, repetition, repetition. And then the same thing is getting this to become really solid. So I give her a command, she stays on track. Okay? I don't want her to respond differently until I tell her so. Because again, this is about walking distance. I have to walk a long, need her to walk a long distance with that type of support. So I want her, that response to stay totally solid the whole time. I want her to be able to really, that's where the consistency, the focus comes from, being able to say, okay, I'm going to just hold steady here and maintain this response until I'm told differently. Okay, high expectations. I'm going to do it again. And you notice here too, I am moving her a little bit, okay, forward, a little bit of momentum to trigger that response. But the idea is after this, she's going to pop straight up, really pop straight up. Tiny, stand. Fairly hard to do it there. Same thing, she tries to stretch out there. She has a habit of wanting to do that. You move her out of that. Move my hands around here. So this is just a pacing exercise. Putting a lot of weight on her at times and leaning into her. She wants to respond differently. I just move her out of that. I just kind of in a really kind of a smooth and seamless way, so it's like it didn't even happen. I don't want her to engage. As soon as I notice it's starting to happen, she's trying to respond differently. I just kind of move her out. Let's see, move around here a little bit. Funny thing is, I actually pulled a muscle in my back a couple of days ago, so this feels good. It's actually helped me a little bit. I feel much better, but you can see how this really, if you have a back issue or something and, have a dog able to support. So I made 2 trips around. I'm going to make one more trip around here with her. Let's increase it by 1. Doing good. I mean, this is pretty high expectation here. I'm putting weight on her the whole time. She wants to respond for a second differently. So we're going to stop here in a second. See? The same thing there. You saw she wanted to do it on her own, but I want her to not do it until I said, okay? So I kind of brought her out of that briefly. So I do it with the chair here in a second. But with the chair, same thing. I want the focus here on the chair exercise is more focused on just popping straight up. Okay, popping straight up. So I'm going to bring her around to the chair. I'll position her first. Move around here. Sit down. 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 put her down here. It's always good for me to do that to help the, again, a little bit of fade in. So I'll do a down position here. I don't want any licking or licking the floor, sniffing the floor. I'll tap her out of that. Okay, I want her just to stay focused on me. Doesn't have to be looking at me, but I want her not to be investing, okay, during this exercise. So from here, you do it a couple of ways here. You know, if you're sitting down in this position already, the focus will be more on her being in a sit anyway. So I'm going to bring her up here in a sit. Tiny sit. I'm going to adjust her over here a little bit. Now from here, this is where I'm going to get her to respond to stand to assist. So I'm going to move from seated position. But again, the goal here as I'm doing this is, I'm just trying to temper back the forward motion to help to trigger to get her pop straight. I want her to pop straight up, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to really engage it so it's she's going to respond quicker for that command. Tiny, stand. Move forward here. Lean on her. She tries to respond differently. See, I'm moving her out. I'm going to circle her around. Bring her back to this position again. Do it again. I have another dog here out of camera view, which is good in a way because it helps to really increase the level of distraction. A couple times she wanted to kind of, she could hear the dog kind of shuffling around. And so she's kind of looking over and I'm going to tap her that. So always good to be doing this around as many distractions as you can. So I do this again. Tiny, stand. And then move forward, because again, we're going from a seated position. Chances are, you know, need her to kind of maxing it up a little bit. So, you know, take one trip around here. So we'll go from a seated position. I want to work a little bit of. Because here's the thing, you want different variables when you do this type of exercise so she doesn't get thrown off. If my hand moves differently on her. Sit. Excellent. Over. So you can see she's doing very, very well. The whole goal here is to start to get the response more solid, so just kind of popping straight up. As you can see here, I'm taking a few trips around with her to really get her to really become very consistent in what she's doing, stay focused. And she's doing really well. And at the same time, you know, still focusing on the relationship side of things with the basic methods. So again, doing really good. Thanks for watching.